Good afternoon. Today, in the morning, when I woke up to get ready for Minyan at Shul, I heard the devastating news of the double suicide bombing in the holy city of Jerusalem. One at the Ramot Junction entrance to Jerusalem, and simultaneously at the Givat Shaul entrance to Jerusalem. These are places that myself and my family had just spent 3 weeks in Jerusalem this summer in these locations, and took these buses, and reading in the news about the terrible passing of the 16-year-old Aryeh Shupak, who was killed by the nails that detonated from this bomb, and at least 20 others that were wounded, some very seriously and some in critical condition. And I was reading the testimony of these young kids. Many of the people at these stops who were on the buses were young little children, 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 10-year-olds, who were getting onto the bus to start their daily routine. And it's so painful when you think about these people and the terror trying to be instilled in them by terrorists, the fear that these terrorists want to do. And when you think about just last week when the State Department opened an investigation into Israel over the killing of a reporter who happened to be American, that Israel had done an investigation about already, and Israel had declared that if she was possibly killed by Israeli soldiers, which could be, it was by accident when Israel was trying to find terrorists who were trying to detonate bombs and kill innocent Israelis. And there's a correlation between these two things. When our closest ally and supposed to be friend doesn't trust our judgment and doesn't give us our benefit of the doubt and the right to protect our own citizens, and questions the tactics we use to protect our citizens, and questions the way the IDF goes into these areas to catch these terrorists so we don't have suicide bombings, then some of the blood lies on their hands. I'm sorry to say that, and I know it sounds strong, but we have to say unequivocally that America has no right whatsoever to tell Israel how to protect its citizens and how to look after its people and how to fight terror. The same way America doesn't want Israel to tell it how to fight terror and how to deal with their issues. In this week's Torah Portion, we read the story of Esau and Yaakov, Jacob and Esau, and the blessings, and how Rebekah wanted the blessings to be given to the younger son, Jacob, and how she told him to don the clothing. Esau, his brother, had special clothing, and she told him to don them and to go into his father for the blessings. And when he comes into his father, Jacob comes in to get the blessings from his father, and Isaac asks him, "Who is this? And why are you here so quickly?" And when he says, "I'm here because God made my way easy," Isaac realizes that this is not the way Esau speaks. So he asks him, "Come close to me so I could feel you." And after he feels him, he says, "1 second, the voice, the way you speak sounds like Jacob, but the way you feel, your hands feel like Esau." And from then, it's been a famous terminology that we always say, that the voice is the voice of Jacob and the hands are the hands of Esau. That Jews use their voice, they speak with their voice, and they use their persuasion instead of violence and hands. But the question asked is, why did Rebekah not just tell Isaac, "Hey, Jacob is the one that has to get the blessings"? Why did she make Jacob don the clothing of Esau? And the answer is a very powerful one that the rabbis give us, and I think is so relevant. Yes, it's true. It's true that the hands are the hands of Esau. The voice is the voice of Jacob. We use persuasion. We use our voice, not our hands. We don't kill. We don't do terror. We speak with our hand, with our voice, and we use our influence. But sometimes, just sometimes, the Jewish people have to don the clothing of Esau. We have to be able to stand up with force and with an army that's strong and with an army that's unrestricted to protect our people. Because unfortunately, in the world we live in, the chaos, the terror, the hate, the anti-Semitism. We don't have a choice but to don the clothing of Esau and protect ourselves. Of course we want to use the voice of Jacob. Of course we want to be able to use our persuasion and our voice to settle things and to bring things to peace and to tranquility for all. We should never hesitate as Jews to don the clothing of Esau. We should never be embarrassed that we have to have big army tanks, that we have to have soldiers in boots and in armor and in uniform to protect our people. We should never hesitate to do what's right, not because of the UN and not because the US questions what we do. We never tell them how they should protect their citizens and how they should deal with their gun violence or how they should deal with their terror or how they should deal with their wars. And never ever should any nation or any country or anybody think that they have the right to tell Israel, the sovereign state, of how to protect our citizens. We've learned the hard way from pogroms and terror and holocausts that we can't rely on anyone. And we, as a nation and as a country, Israel, have to eradicate terror no matter what the cost is, no matter what it takes. We have to stand proud and protect our people. We can't be meek, we can't be timid, and we can't be worried about what the UN will say, or what the US will say, or what the State Department will say. Because these are all people that UN have bodies, that the human rights are done by countries like Iran and North Korea and Russia who kill and maim. And their hypocrisy is deafening, and the double standard is shocking. And we have to always remember this, and never be afraid, or never be bullied by these people that we shouldn't be able to protect our own. Am Yisrael Chai. Israel will catch these terrorists. Israel will protect its people. We will persevere. We will thrive. But only through sometimes donning the clothing of Esau. God bless you. Have a good day. May God comfort the family of this young 16-year-old who passed away, Aryeh Shubak, and may God heal all those that got injured and protect all the people in the Holy Land of Israel. God bless you and have a good day.